3. Which channel is this?
The Morgan?
But I don't know who needs to hear this. But in order to move forward in life, you must be able to master the art of letting go.
Welcome back to the Morgan Dialogues, and today we're going to be discussing a pretty difficult topic, I think, at times, but we're going to be talking about letting go and the importance of letting go, why we should let go, when we should let go, and start a dialogue about that. I can definitely speak for myself that in times past when I would have to let go of something or someone, it was very difficult because I think part of it for me was the uncertainty of whether or not if I let this go, will something else come along, or is this my one and only shot? And then other times for others, it could be about the pain they don't want to experience. So they hold on to something that's comfortable, that you're familiar with, and bearing the pain of separating or severing it from your life is something you want to avoid, so you don't let go of it.
So in order to reach that stage of even considering to letting go, maybe we have to assess probably cost-benefit analysis to see if this thing probably is still serving us at this moment.
What do you mean by if it's serving you?
Very good question, because there are some times that we may be in a job, for example, and probably that job is new, and at that point we were getting a lot of income. We had relocated, so we need that income at the moment. Things are working out well, but there comes a time in that job where we feel really frustrated being there. We dread going back to work Monday morning. Well, it happens to a lot of people. But we reach a point where it's no costing us. Maybe I remember once I was at a workplace. I really enjoy this work. I love it. I admire it. I mean, like when everybody was looking forward to Friday, I was, looking forward to Friday to go home, that is. I was looking forward to Friday because like within the week I went out, so on Friday it was like another day to me. So to me that job was serving me, it was doing me well, it was more benefiting me than costing me.
So you had some time off during the week?
Very good. It was different from where I was working prior. Now I had time off from work and I was looking forward to this time off. However, there came a time where I was under a lot of stress, I was under a lot of pressure. There was a lot going on with me, whether at the workplace or in my life. So that very job that I love, it no longer served me, because I remember I found myself I had to go to the doctor a few times because there was a lot happening at the time and the job was added. In other words, there are some things I used to enjoy doing at the job and we weren't allowed to do those things anymore. So it was the time I used to relax, enjoy while being there, I wasn't able to do that. So it was mainly costing me more. I was being affected mentally, physically, I was being affected. So as a result of that, I knew that the time was coming where I needed to let go of this job.
So would you say that because your job was no longer serving you, meaning that it wasn't bringing out the best in you?
Very good. I love that.
It was stressing you out.
It was.
Maybe it was also costing other areas of your life to fall as well, because it was basically stealing all of your life, basically.
And this reminds me of sometimes when you're in you're trying to check out someone in a relationship or such, and at the beginning of it, you may feel as if things may be going good because you're chasing after this person. But after getting to know them and probably having some conversation, you start to realize that we're having a lot of arguments, things not going as I thought. But sometimes you try to force it because you think that things may get better over time. Maybe this person may like you after they get to know you. But when this persists, that's when you start to realize, it's not changing. So I think you have to become self-aware that is this thing really serving me, or will it work in my favor?
Yeah, that self-awareness piece is hard because I can remember times where I was entertaining relationships that Obviously, on the outside looking in, it wasn't good. But I think in my head, I was like, well, like you said, it'll get better. Maybe if I just hold on a little longer. And we keep chancing more time because we're settling for what we only see in front of us, right? I can't even think, I'm not thinking about my future. I'm not thinking about maybe there's something better for me out there. And becoming self-aware, I think, only comes when, like you said, the cost starts to outweigh the benefits. And before you know it, this relationship that I wanted, that was first giving me a lot of joy. I was looking forward to hanging out with the person, going out, just having fun conversations, things like that. It started off that way. So there was a lot of benefit for me. I was like, well, I feel pleased by this. I feel happy around this person. And then all of a sudden you're second guessing yourself. You're wondering like, oh, am I beautiful enough? Like, why is he looking here? Why is he looking? So you start questioning yourself, doubting yourself. And then I think when that becomes so much that like I'm losing sleep, I'm having negative thoughts about myself, or I'm feeling like this person really isn't invested in me, you just start feeling it. Then it's like, okay, do I want to keep going in this, or do I want to let go and see if there's something better for me?
And I think the abundance mindset is what keeps us from letting go and moving on.
Abundance mindset.
Yeah, the lack of that. In other words, we have abundance mindset means that there's something else out there that we can grasp, we can hold, we can let go of this thing for. And so that, in other words, if we think that this relationship is the only relationship, this job is the only job that can give me that happiness, peace that I'm desiring, if this opportunity is the only one that can, if we think this where we're at in our life is the best, we will never let go.
That's really good.
So technically, abundance mindset is when you are open. Do you think the simple things, those little things in our homes for that matter, if we can let go of those things, it will help us to start making that bigger decision of letting go of things in our life?
I think people have, well, I know I'm guilty of this too, where you hoard a lot of stuff because you think you're going to need it at some point. And I mean, I know like some people have that extreme illness of it, but I think it's a general thing. When you're at home, you start collecting a lot of things and you don't use them. You go out and buy more stuff. And before you know it, the thing that you originally bought, you're not even thinking about it anymore. But then when it's time to clean out or clean the garage or something, you start looking through stuff and you're like, oh, I want to keep this, I want to keep this. And then you're not going to do anything with it, you know? And so mastery always starts at a basic, fundamental, like small steps. Like I'm not going to be a master of letting go tomorrow if I haven't learned how to do those smaller instances of letting go. So even if that means cleaning out my wardrobe and getting rid of clothes that I don't wear or I haven't worn in the last 3 months or so, donating them, that in and of itself is already the beginning of learning how to let go. Because I think a lot of people, when they do that, they feel better. Like,
you mean just getting rid of the things?
Yeah, like when your space starts looking much more organized, more clear, more clean, you actually feel better. And now you actually have more space for new things, right? If I clear out my wardrobe, I can now go out and buy better clothes for myself and things like that. And, you know, letting go is very difficult. Like if you have to let go a dream that you really wanted, right? I've been there, like wanting a certain life for myself. And then when I realized more and more as time went along, as I got older, I realized like, well, this isn't happening. And so you got to let it go if you're going to experience the things that life has to offer you afterwards. So
you believe that sometimes some disappointment may come in our life, and while we see it as disappointment, maybe it's an indication to take stock of what's really happening to you. Is this serving you still? Is this something that you may need to learn to let go of? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be important for you to know. So do you believe that timing is important? No? Because do you think we can just say, oh, I'm going to clean up my room, or I'm going to throw away this settee, but let's say tomorrow is when...
A settee is a couch.
Okay, sorry. So a couch. So do you think the timing is important? Let's say I'm going to throw away this couch, but tomorrow is when the family is going to be coming here to spend time, and maybe they need to sit in it. Because if I throw that away, where are they going to sit? So maybe I could say, oh, let's wait till after they leave. So do you think, although we're letting go of things, the timing is important?
Yeah, I think timing is important, especially because if you wait too long to let something go, you waste a lot of your time that you can't get back.
I know a lot about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Wasted some time.
Me too.
Workplace.
Yes.
I worked at.
Yes.
I remember a time I said, I'll give it one more year.
Yeah.
But I think the good thing is though is that when you finally give it that year, although it's a long time, you really do walk away.
You really do walk away. Yeah, and I think that's the thing with time. What ends up happening is it either forces you to let go, and usually that's a much more severe parting with something.
Yes.
And then there's, like you said, an ideal time where you're still within a window of choosing to let go.
Yes.
You know, and in that case, it may hurt, but it won't hurt as bad as if you let time have to force you to let go. You know, and so discerning when that time is, and I know for me, what's been key is knowing when something that I'm in just starts to just grieve me. It just starts to pull my energy, it pulls my happiness, my joy, and I'm getting into negative thought patterns. I feel like if you're around things, people, places, jobs that start to, beyond grace, like God will give you a grace sometimes to deal with certain stuff.
Yes.
You know, your situation may not change. People may hate you, or you may have chaos on your job, but you have a certain grace to weather it. But then when the grace lifts and you start to feel all the pressure and it's driving you to an edge, that's to me is an indication that whatever it is that you're in, it's time to let that go.
So let's say we get this now. So you're saying it's good to be aware of what's happening in your life. Look at the cost benefit analysis. Check to see, start with small, then big, and now reach a stage where you know exactly when is the right time in order to move on.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the last part. I think this is the most beautiful part.
Yeah.
What happens when we finally let go?
What happens when we finally let go? Beautiful things, really. Like I know for me, when I finally let go of things I was settling for, or let go of relationships that, again, were no longer serving me, in the sense that they weren't adding to my life and they were more so taking from my life. When I let those things go,
would you say in some sense, 'cause I remember when I didn't let go, I was trying to force it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for most of us, that's what it is. We're trying to force things from we have a stubborn willpower. It's like, it's going to work. It has to work because
we want it to work.
We want it to work because
we probably don't have that abundance.
Yeah,
mindset.
We don't have a foresight, like seeing beyond your current situation.
Wow.
Right. So you might be thinking, well, I'm getting older. I probably need to hold on to what I have. Right. Oh, I'm not getting. This is the only amount of money I have. I need to hold on to it rather than invest it or put it into something else that could grow. Right. So if I'm feeling like, no, this is all that I have and all that I will ever have, then we're gonna waste a lot of time. But I think when you let go, or when you finally let go, I look at it like this: it's like you make more room in your life for better things.
So wait, because I'm here. So I know I hear someone asking this question. I know I heard it. Don't worry, I'm gonna ask it. So I'm in my situation. I don't know. I have this uncertainty. I don't know if it's going to be better. How do you know it's going to be better? Or, because someone may be asking that question. But you know how I usually answer it? I always say to persons, if you're at your lowest in life, if things are the worst right now, can it get any worse? Think about it.
Yeah.
If you, according to you, I remember people love say this. Oh, I'm in this relationship. I'm in this job. I can't stand it. And if it's really that bad, if you walk away, can things get worse? If you're at the ground right now, can you fall further than the ground?
Right.
In other words, things can only, and I think the problem with people is that we want that change tomorrow.
Right.
We say, oh, I don't want to let go because I need that change.
Yeah.
Sometimes change takes a while for you see the good in it. But at the end of the day, once we learn to let go, we can see the beauty that, hey, if it's really that bad, no matter where you go from here, things can always get better.
But I think that's a challenge for a lot of people.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah, because to me, when you're at rock bottom, you actually have to believe that there's something better for you. And I think some people can get to rock bottom and think, well, this is just my lot in life. They're not expansive. They can't think. They may see, like, for example, I feel like what started helping me let go a lot of things was seeing the other possibilities. So if I saw a healthy marriage, I'm thinking it exists, so it must be something I can do.
May I say this, please?
Sure.
That's a game changer there. I remember I was watching a lot of videos on how women are, and women can be narcissistic and all these things.
Men too.
Yeah, well, I was a man, so I was watching. But anyway, I got trapped thinking this is how a lot of women were.
Yeah.
You know what changed my mind? When I found a video that this woman was telling us how to have an amazing relationship, a healthy relationship. For the first, well, maybe not for the first, but for the first, I started checking those videos, and I was like, wait, so there are healthy relationships out there.
There are healthy relationships.
In other words, I thought, because of what I saw and I watch and what I consume, I thought most relationship was just toxic.
Yes.
And most job was the worst out there.
Right.
But then when I saw someone else say, no, there are amazing jobs out there, there are amazing opportunities out there, there are amazing relationships, that was when I was like, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
It gave me a little bit of light bulb moment.
Yes.
And it gave me the possibility that, hold on, maybe I shouldn't settle there.
Right. But then, like I said, the challenge for a lot of people is they don't believe it's for them. They'd be like, okay, they were able to have a healthy marriage, but it couldn't happen to me. And I think that's why letting go, to me, there's so many components to it. It's not just as simple as just releasing something.
True.
But there's a lot of how you see yourself as well. Like for me, finally letting go of certain relationships, jobs, things, I believe that there was better for me out there. Like, even though you have to believe it for yourself. If you don't, when you get to rock bottom, it's just more of a pity party. Like, oh, well, it happened for everybody else, but I know it's not going to happen for me. Or somehow I got the bad pick of the litter. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you have that self-defeating, self-sabotaging mind, when you let go of things, even when you're rock bottom, I mean, like you said, how much worse can it get?
You know, as you said that, this reminds me of something. Actually, when I was working at this job for over a decade, was comfortable, feeling great. As a matter of fact, I was in a group where a lot of persons were showing us opportunities of other jobs out there that were quite great, better opportunities. But because I was settled in where I was at, not that it was the best, but I was settled there. I had never looked out. The moment I opened my eyes and said, wait, well, I first acknowledged that I needed a change. And then I started looking at the possibility that, wait, this is something that, in other words, I started thinking, whoa, is this something that I could want? I started yearning for it. I said I needed more than what I was having now. I needed a better job. So because I started thinking, hey, this can happen for me, that was when I started making a checking note. I made an application towards a place. I did get through, but the fact that I get through, it never would have happened if I never thought it was possible. It could happen to me. In other words, I was settled where I was, so I never ever considered another opportunity out there. But the moment I started examining my situation, looking at where I'm at, and then I said, wait, you know that there's better out there? And in fact and in truth, there was a better opportunity out there for me.
The world is big. I think that's like when you start traveling, you see more of the world, you realize how much more there actually is out there. And I guess that's our encouragement to our viewers. And it's a big gamble to hold on to something that you don't have any clue what the future with that thing looks like. But what you do know is what your present state is. And I know it's not to say that anytime your relationship gets bad, you guys start arguing, that's like, okay, time to let go. There's a difference, right? You know the difference. Like, I think most of us deep down, we know when we're in a situation that we really need to let go. Long enough. Most of us know we're just not brave enough to actually just release it. And so, you know, for me, now being at this side of life now with you, I feel like, oh my gosh, what if I just settled with those previous situationships, because that's what they were? I would have completely missed out on you. Because that's the thing. I feel like God is always ready to give us the above and beyond what we could ever think or imagine. But we have to start thinking like him. In a sense, right? You were pretty much that for me. Like, you were above and beyond whatever I imagined in a husband, and in a best friend, and in a partner, a business partner. Like, you're beyond that, right? But I had to believe that for myself. Like, God had it for me, but I had to believe it was for me.
Yes.
And that's when, like, in the last few years of my life, it was easy for me to take note. Nope, that's not the one. That's not it. And it wouldn't take long. I wouldn't waste my time with someone I knew wasn't a good fit for me. And it's not to say like I think I was better than them, but I knew what I wanted now. I knew what was best for me.
You have to know your worth as well.
You have to know your worth. And
so that's important,
that's
because if you're not willing to know your worth, you'll accept anything.
Yeah.
And think to you that's the best.
That's the best. That's the thing. Like, we just don't know. We don't, as human beings, we have no clue what the highest we can go.
Wow.
We don't know at all. So that's what I mean. Like, you're gambling all the time when you're holding on to something that's very mediocre. You're settling for it. You know you're settling for it.
Wow.
But you have to be brave enough to say, okay, I'm going to let this go. And even if what I hope doesn't happen, it's better than what I have right now. I would rather be alone than with someone who makes me feel like I'm invisible.
Wow.
I would rather be working my own business, than to be working at a job where they're tearing me down every day.
Wow.
I would rather be moving out on my own than to stay in a location where it's just nothing but toxicity and dysfunction. So even if those situations, if it doesn't pan out the way I hope, it would be much better for me than to stay in the situation that I'm in.
Yeah, in closing, I'm going to say this. I remember I was, when I was a teacher before, and I was in a classroom teaching. I remember another teacher came to my classes. Sir, your students are very noisy. I'm like, what are they talking about? They're not noisy.
Students are very noisy?
Yeah, noisy, making a lot of noise.
Okay.
I never thought they were making a lot of noise. But guess what I did? I decided, well, the teacher left, and I stepped outside the classroom. And the class was like there. I was looking at the classroom. I stepped further out, and they were noisy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
While I was inside that room, they didn't seem noisy, because all of us was communicating, talking, but at a particular level.
Yeah.
But when I went out, that's when I realized how noisy the classroom. No, mind you, it wasn't a noise where they were disruptive or such. It was healthy communication among each other. However, they were still noisy. Here's where I'm getting at. Sometimes that job, that relation, that situation, sometimes you need to step away from it.
Yeah.
Take a break from it.
Yeah, because it's not like a total letting go, but you're taking like a little break apart from it.
It's just a taking a little break. So that time off, sometimes you need to take that. COVID to me is the best time that I think gave a lot of people a lot of break.
Yeah.
It allowed them to assess, whoa, what's happening in my life?
Right.
That's why I kind of love COVID. It gave persons a chance.
You loved the time that COVID gave us to
ourselves. I love COVID. Yeah, thank you. That's not what I mean. I think it allows persons to examine their life. To me, I see a lot of persons who are very busy, doing a lot of things, and they didn't realize that they were
holding on to stuff.
No, they were not well.
Yeah.
I realize this. Sometimes you're too busy and you're not even aware that you need to go to the doctor. That's why a lot of persons say when COVID came, they realized that a lot of people went to the doctor. They found out that they became sick. Maybe they were sick all along, but because they were so busy working, they didn't take time out to just allow their body to just rest.
Right.
And really, if you notice, on Fridays are the days when we feel the most tiredest. Think about this for a second. Why Friday? Because we're finally resting. What am I saying to you? Wherever you are, whatever situation, learn to step back.
Yeah.
Learn to take a break. I didn't say it doesn't mean you have to let go.
Right.
Yeah, but you just step back.
Yeah, it gives you some time.
Good. And by stepping back, it gives yourself some time and assess, oh, is this really benefiting me? Is it costing me? What is really going on in my life? Sometimes you really just need to look around. Your environment is not helping you. Maybe that environment, when you're looking around at other persons, you see failure.
Right.
But it's because of who you have around you.
Right. We definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts. Anything jumped out at you? We do want to feature some of your comments in our next episode.
Definitely.
So don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time watching, and we love to have you here at the table with us.
All right, so take care. Join us next time on the Morgan
Dialogues.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.